Pickaroo. Thank you for joining for another fantastic episode of the Pit Podcast. Boys, competition season is more or less over with around the corner freaking world champs.
Yeah.
Boys, we've survived somehow through another grueling season, but I'm so happy that the things are done and we are here. How are you boys feeling today? Jason, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
I'm great. I also just want to say thank you to our sponsor for today's video, Laser Levels and Black Tape. I'm feeling good. I'm super excited. The season went by so fast, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's already it's
like it went, like bang, 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 already done, more or less.
I'm super pumped for Worlds.
You're going to Worlds?
Yeah, I'm going to Worlds like every year to volunteer.
That's fun.
It's it's okay. I mean, it's not the same as St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
Everyone says that because it's true.
Exciting.
But hey, it's way better than Saginaw Valley State University, right?
Oh, yeah, okay. But yeah, so
I had a good time. It wasn't that bad. Sorry.
What are you talking about?
It was my first time going.
Bless you.
So I had a good time. The food is all right. I think the people made it the best part, right? Like Aptiv Field was a blast, and we all had a great time.
Dude, Aptiv was on point. We were on time. Like we were going. Our field was actually ahead of schedule at one point in time.
Yeah.
Take freaking that every other field Aptiv, baby. Boom! We were on top of that. We were ready to go. So I couldn't be more proud to be with each and every one of you. I'm sorry, Jason, but each and every one of you on Aptiv and got that stuff done.
Yeah.
So it was exciting to watch those matches as well. Aptiv was pretty jam packed.
Yeah. Can't take home the gold though.
Gosh, it was crazy.
Everybody.
It was crazy.
The scores were pretty close. Like we're talking. I didn't even see hardly ever a score that was less than 100, maybe less than 150.
That and in playoffs, each of the scores were all won by within 1 to 4 points of each other.
Yeah,
you didn't have any big separations.
Really close. Yeah.
Even like 1 through 8, like it was still like within a close spread of each other.
Yeah.
I like how during quals, like our first qual match, we scored like over 200, and that wasn't uncommon.
Right.
It was just kind of normal.
Yeah, and you're
like, I didn't really realize it till I got back to the pit. I was like, wait, was our score over 200? And like that happens every year, right? But it's always still funny to see.
The crazier part is that you could lose with a score of 200 too.
Right. Yeah. Right. And routinely too, almost every other match, when you had good coral scores, the reef was getting filled.
Yeah.
It was getting filled. And that was the expectation. I don't know if this was true within like Ontario or Texas or even at some of the regional events.
Yeah, because we don't watch those.
Yeah, I have no
We're
idea what's
busy.
happening. Yeah. Of other district events.
Do you guys think that makes the game good or bad?
That's a good point. So honestly, I feel like they balanced it pretty well. Now, here's why I think so. It's because like the game is getting complete, but it's still close. And there's always that like that virtual is virtually there's no virtual like perfect score, right?
Yeah.
Because you can always score an L1.
Right.
So I think at Worlds we're gonna see, the reef getting filled. That's obvious.
Well, you have to. You have to fill the reef.
Yeah, and then it's going to be up to how much algae can you get into your net.
How much can you steal from the opponents?
Yeah, can you steal all your algae's opponents?
That's actually, sorry to cut you off, but we saw this strategy on Fimstein. So believe it or not, our field, Aptiv, made it into the finals on Fimstein against Hemlock.
Yep.
And we saw a strategy in finals too. And unironically, this was our boy. This was Clint's alliance that we saw 2075. They crossed over the field. And instead of playing defense, they were waiting and baiting out. I think Strikeforce were hot, trying to place a coral in their reef. And as soon as they left their zone, Enigma comes right in, steals an algae from their reef, and on the same side of the field as Hemlock, Enigma just scores an algae right into the barge and comes back and then starts doing their coral cycles.
I think Strikeforce did that too. No,
I don't think so.
I know
They scored one on the opposite side of the field, but they didn't steal an algae off the opponent's reef.
Oh,
Right,
okay, but they did steal it from
Yeah.
the
They
side.
stole it from the other side and scored
just
it
wasn't
on
on
the
the reef.
opposite. Yeah, they just didn't steal one off the
Okay.
opponent's
Off the
reef.
reef,
That was
which-
pretty
Do better,
crazy.
Corey.
Yeah, which
That might have
Here's-
been the first time I've ever seen that happen ever.
but that's the level of play you like coming into Worlds, right? You have to implement because ultimately the expectation is you're going to fill the reef. So then, where can you steal algae and get the majority of points of algae into your barge, right? Because the name of the game now is where can you score more points?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
do you think that we're going to get to the point at Worlds where this is why I think the game is balanced, because there's still so many directions for the game to go. Like yes, there is like a ceiling. You feel the reef, you feel the net, and then you're just left at like L1, right? But it's still kind of up in the air because like you can feel the reef, feel the net, and then it's just down to L1, which I mean isn't. I don't think that's a bad thing. It's interesting.
There's only so much stuff you can do during the match,
Mhm.
and by the time you filled both scoring elements, right?
Mhm.
Now all you're left is the battle of L1. Can
Yeah.
you score more L1 in the trough, and then how quickly can you climb?
And honestly, I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see those purple lights.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see all them refs
Getting
get on
them
the
to
field.
count. We actually had to go purple to count some balls a couple of times because there's just so
Ah.
many balls in the
Yeah.
barge. Yeah.
Okay. So here's what I was gonna say. Do you think it's gonna be like a little bit like Recycle Rush, where match starts and like, okay, so all of the alliances know they can fill the reef, right?
Mhm.
That's easy,
Mhm.
no problem. Do you think they're gonna start the match by trying to steal and secure the algae, and then once they do that, then they go
wait,
to the
and
go
reef?
down there and steal and then come back.
do
At the
that
beginning of
first.
the teleop,
Yeah, do
Okay.
that first, and then do the reef because they know they can finish the reef
They
in X
might.
amount of time.
They might.
we kind of saw that. We saw that out in the finals too with Enigma when they stole the algae. That's what they did first during at the
Mhm.
first.
No, but they had like one robot doing. They had Enigma doing that, but the rest were still scoring out Coral, right? Right. So are we
Yeah, and
thinking
I think the Hemlock Alliance too, because Strikeforce did like 1 or 2 Coral and Teleop, and then they went down and played defense. They weren't getting the balls, but they were down there immediately playing defense, and they could have
Yeah.
easily gotten the balls too. There was a couple still on the ground that 858 didn't score into the barge yet.
Mhm.
I could see that absolutely. Like I think the balls and L1 are gonna be the name of the game.
I think at some point it just kind of becomes necessary.
Yeah.
Like so that's why I kind of think this game is good is because you're kind of taking the main scoring element, which is Coral, right?
Mhm.
And you're kind of pushing it back because the algae is what's going to make the difference. You want to secure your algae, put it in the net, and then you can go ahead fill your reef because you're never going to do that.
Yeah, it's
Right.
fun. I think this is one of my favorite pick and place games.
Yeah.
I like this more than
I like it.
Charged Up.
Me
Charged
too.
Up was great. Okay, everybody. Okay,
Great.
shush, shush. Okay, the
It was okay.
Instagram post and the Charged Up's making its way through the bracket.
It was
Okay,
okay.
sure. I like the balance beams, but I think Reefscape has a better overall game. I think Reefscape is one
Yeah.
of my favorite pick and place games.
I
right?
think we were all a little concerned with it being so half-sided.
pick and place. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, do you guys think that's still a problem? Like I feel like the game's just pretty good.
No, I think it's good.
like there's more than enough cross-field action.
I would be interested to see 2 defenders at the same time. I wouldn't mind seeing that like an
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
season or
I
something.
can see-
but I think you're right. I think it's
Yeah.
balanced and it's good.
I can see why there's not.
Yeah.
I
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be
it'd be fun.
chaotic.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
John, Rainbow Rumble, can field 2
my
defenders.
Good, we can't. That's crazy. But no, I mean, what? You know what? Forget all 6 robots on one field. Let's see what happens.
No,
Yeah.
they swap you swap reefs. So now you're doing the opposite one.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
allow D scoring. We got some ideas. We could come up with some off season ideas, but
hence why these are
the-
our off season.
The Pit Podcast off season is going to go insane.
How is that going to work? That's gonna take quite of an operation than
No
what this
spoilers.
is already.
Oh yeah.
Not bad. Let's keep rolling. We had some fun alliance selection mishaps at states.
Oh my-
Specifically on DTE, a funny remembrance that we had. The timer, the time crunch is all new this year. And I'm so sorry for this kid, but it was really funny. DT is getting their alliance selection done, and Nerd Spark goes up to the mic, and they have a couple of declines first before they pick 8608, the alpha bots, right?
Yep.
And the 3 team reps, they start walking down. The queuers stop the 2 other people, and the student keeps going down. He walks up, he gets on the field. And you can kind of tell that he's not sure whether to say yes or no at the moment,
And he's
because
not in the top 8 or 16, right?
No, they were 6. There were 6 on their field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was unsure. How could I tell he was unsure? Because he's walking down and he goes like this. So then he gets onto the field, he gets up to the mic, and Brian, our awesome MC, he goes, "Would you like to accept or form your own, or whatever, decline, whatever?" And the kid goes,
"We're currently unsure."
And then he goes,
"Do we get 45 seconds?"
And Brian goes, Brian turns to the FTA. FTA goes, and he's like, "No, I got to make a decision now." So the 8608 student, he gets caught back up with the other 2 team reps for their team, and they end up accepting. But I think that's the funniest alliance selection story I've heard in a while. That was awesome.
Wow.
I'm glad it worked out for them. I'm sure that's going to be really funny to laugh at right now. But
I love alliance selection.
I love alliance selection now. It's pretty awesome.
It's just so. Okay, I love it when it's just all students that kind of don't know what they're doing. Is because you just get the funniest things.
Yeah.
I'm like, no hate. But like in 2023, when Enigma was on DTE, and they have one of their kids go up, and he's like, "We choose to form our own alliance."
I love.
It's not funny in itself, but if you were there, it was just perfect.
It created a moment.
It-
It's iconic. Yeah, there's some awesome
Yeah.
students who they send down for alliance selection. I love when students, they don't say, "We'd like to graciously accept," or "We would like to, on behalf of all of our sponsors," like just read off a number, just say yes or no. Trust me, all the volunteers would love it if you mixed it up, right? Especially during alliance selection, all the awards are done. Okay, there's no more judging for the awards, right? So
Yeah.
you don't have to be. You got to be polite. Don't get me wrong. Don't be rude or anything. But like, make it funny or something, because we're all just kind of like sitting around and waiting for some action.
There was
right?
one moment. There was one. I'll remember this. As a student, there was one during alliance selection. I think it was at either States or Worlds back in 2018, where a student comes up to the mic, and after the person goes, "Do you want to accept or?" It was actually, "Do you want to accept this invitation for the number 4 seed alliance?" All the kid goes was, "Yup."
Yeah, that's funny.
Yup. Yup.
Nope.
remember in 2017
That's
hearing
awesome.
"Yee" one time.
Or the pizza box proposals. Have you guys seen one of those?
No, what is that?
It was at Livonia, long time ago. Somebody came down with
I
the
remember this.
pizza box, and it had yes written on the inside cover. So when they got picked, they just pizza box was like, "Yes, I
Good.
do accept. I will join your alliance."
What do you guys think about I graciously accept?
I don't care. I'm sorry, man. Gratefully gracious. Just
Look,
well, I guess
I'm
I
just
do care
saying,
because I want people to just say yes.
one is correct grammar. The other's not.
I understand that. Yeah.
Moving on.
Foley water at comps.
God bless the Foley freeze. Sorry,
And
Allah
Aptiv
bless
Field.
the Foley freeze.
Estigmamala, Foley
Um,
freeze.
Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for doing
Foley
what
freeze.
you
Do
do.
you know how much water they donated?
Well, hang on,
Do you know how much water I've consumed?
Foley
At States because
freeze.
of them?
Foley Freeze has a sponsor by Absapure. Foley Freeze is sponsored by Absapure, who donates cases of water for the team to set up in the pits, and they have a table and a stand, and it's all free water, free bottles of water for the teams, the students, anybody volunteers to take. So at
Amazing.
States, they had, according to our manager, a truckload of water
Yeah.
for everybody, and
Yeah.
it was awesome. And we had so much water, it overflowed, not literally, but like, it made its way to the field to the volunteers, and I ended up taking home 2 cases of water for my team.
Wow.
So
They should get Hall of Fame just for that.
yeah, thank you, Absapure. Thank you, Foley Freeze, and Foley Flare. I'm looking forward to your product donation. I'm sure it would be
Hot
very
Pockets?
interesting.
Hot
Hot
sauce?
Pockets matches,
Just fire.
fire in general.
Fire.
But that's awesome. That's really appreciated. especially Aptiv Field. I'm not the one to like critique taste of water, but like it's
Oh my
Their
God.
water
the-
is
Oh my
some of the
gosh.
volunteers are picky about their water and they love the Aptiv Field water.
My
so
it is
kids-
crisp water. It's very
yeah. So Aptiv Field, hit us up. We'll keep our DMs open for you guys. What else do we want to talk about? Field calibration.
Yeah, so there was a little bit of controversy, surprisingly, surprise,
Yes,
controversy
dude,
at
was
the
there
Michigan
not?
State Championship, right?
SVSU, no.
But right, field calibration, there was a little bit of a finagle, right, where there was there's practice matches that would start first, and then you would have lunch, and then
Lunch
field
and
calibration. Yeah, calibration during lunch, right?
Yeah.
So, but what was I believe there were some teams that were not super happy or preferable that they had to do field calibrations after practice matches.
Yeah.
What's your guys' opinions on that?
You know,
Do you want to have it before or after? I think before it would make sense, so that way your bot is calibrated to this specific field, that it will work, and when you see it during practice matches, you could adjust for that. But
Yeah, I mean-
after matches, what do you guys?
I mean, before is definitely like ideal, right? And it should have been before, but also cry about it.
Wow.
You
Wow.
you still had calibration then practice matches after.
I
so,
agree
like,
with
it's not a
everybody
big
here.
deal.
Yeah, it's you want to calibrate your robot before you do practice matches. However, already a tight time crunch.
Yeah,
and
I mean, like no one said the scheduling at SVSU is great. We all know it's not good.
yeah, right. Like I don't go into an event thinking I can change the schedule. Like
I do. It
it's-
doesn't work.
Ugh. Well, this was
like
planned in months in advance too, so or a little
Yeah.
bit before.
but it is what it's the cards you dealt, man. Like it
Yeah.
is what it is.
I mean, I will say the scheduling at that event was questionable.
Mhm.
Specifically, the Dean's List luncheon.
yeah, that
on
was
Thursday?
really early.
On third, oh,
What?
What time did that start at?
Lunchtime. Okay,
On Thursday.
because they made you go outside to get to the lunchroom. Well, oh yeah, you guys don't know this.
No,
No.
Tell us.
You guys don't know this. Oh my god. Okay. So
He is laughing
it's
with the
it's
background.
Thursday. It's Thursday at lunchtime, right? And so we're going to lunchroom, and then these two volunteers, luckily wielding no pool noodles, go, "Halt, Dean's List or lunch?"
Oh,
I'm
really?
like, lunch? And they go, "Got to go outside then."
They
I'm
kicked
like,
everybody out of the lunchroom.
No. This is on the way to the lunchroom. Okay.
Oh,
Like,
lunchroom. Okay.
before you hit the exercise equipment,
yeah, the gym.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
they had two volunteers there.
Okay.
And if you were going to the lunchroom, the gym, you had to go outside and around to get in,
That's
because
crazy.
the Dean's List luncheon was happening in that space
in the gym
between-
hallway.
Yeah, in between the exercise equipment and the gym.
Wait, the Dean's List lunch in the hallway?
Yes, dog. And they made you go outside and around.
That's
To get to
that's
the
pretty
main
wild.
lunchroom.
Yes! Instead of just walking through the hallway, they scheduled the Dean's List luncheon to be at the same time
Mhm.
so that you had to go outside. What if it was raining?
Yeah,
What?
right. I feel like we have a lot of space. You want to get in here, Ian? Ian's got something to say.
Come on,
Oops.
come on.
Wow.
Everybody, welcome. All right, for 2 minutes, our guest manager Ian.
Guest
Pop off,
manager Ian.
King. Pop
Hi,
off.
everybody. Yeah, I just got to comment on this one too, because I was going to say hi to my team really quick. I first got here. Sorry, I'm probably not talking to the mic well at all. No one can see my face. Anyway, yeah, you get routed outside, and like the Dean's List kids, they're probably all on like pit crew and that. They're just trying to they have practice matches going on. They're
Yeah,
rushing to get everything
inspection.
ready.
Yeah,
No one's going to like the Dean's List when it was like a thing after the competition was over, like the end of the day. That was good. That was really good. But now, and then all these people are going to the States for the first time, right? Because there's rookies on teams. There's teams that have never been or haven't been in a few years.
yeah.
So there's these kids. They're being told like by their teams, oh, meet us in the lunchroom, and then you. Like, what is this precedent? Oh, my first time going to the lunchroom. Now I'm going outside because I'm being told I can't go. It was just.
Not the right time.
Dude, that
So you guys
sounds like
are
a whole. That sounds like a bunch of bull crap. Like how,
Thank you,
like
Ian.
first, like Dean's list, like dinner, lunch, whatever it is, right? That's be a special event for the Dean's list, right? It's not easy to win a Dean's list
Were
nomination.
those for the winners or the nominees? Those are the
Mm.
sorry.
nominees.
So anyone
right?
nominated
so
can go.
everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
But like that should have been like a special event for those students to like feel special, like Dean's List. It's not easy to get nominated, right? And yet to have him like in a hallway, right? Be like that's more so like impromptu celebration, right? Like that's like, two penny crap, right? You're like, oh, you guys won, you guys were nominated. Here's some food in a hallway. Let's go. Like that's,
Also, just making people go outside and around to get to the lunchroom instead of just go through the hallway is insane.
Or direct the flow.
Yeah.
But
I think we have a
honestly-
lot of space in the pit still if we wanted to set up some more of the tiling over the field. Because it's a whole football field, right? There's a lot of space that's still not being used, so we could set up some more of that tile, the floor tiling, and then set up tables in the lunch and in the pits. That'd make it a bit closer to teams. So yeah, it would be loud, I guess. Yeah, but it would be closer, so the students would have to leave their teams if they're on pick or anything.
yeah.
I don't know. We could set up curtains. Trying to throw out ideas to get this
Right,
correct.
but
in
they
the future.
deserve more than just a hallway.
I know, right? But if we're gonna come with criticism, we should come with ideas on how to improve
No.
it, right?
I just want to be
crap on
angry.
it.
Oh my
No, we have
some-
lots of ideas on how to make SVSU
something-
better, and the biggest thing is to leave.
Something
somewhere else.
else that I saw because I was a volunteer, not on a team this weekend. They scheduled inspections. So every like 4 teams or so had a time slot of when they're to go to the pit admin table and do inspections. And if you weren't ready at your scheduled inspection time, you were to go to the end when they opened it to everybody at noon. So pits open at 10, then you go through your scheduled inspection time. And if you're not ready, you're at noon. And then at noon, it's already lunchtime and they're doing field count and you missed half your practice matches, right?
Mm.
That is pretty wild to me, but I understand what they're trying to go for and cut down the big long line. There's still a big long line when I got there because I got there, around 10:30, and I'm walking through DT and whatever else pit is right at the entrance of the pits. Walk through them and big long line to pit admin to inspection and stuff. So I don't know if it worked or not, but that was an interesting adjustment, I guess I would say that I saw. What
They've
was
been
the other
doing
thing I
this-
saw? Go for it.
They've been doing this since 2017. You think they just look? I'm not hating. Wait, are they paid? Are the coordinators paid?
No,
I don't think so.
I think
Okay,
they're
okay.
volunteers.
So they are volunteers. You're gonna get volunteer work. However, we've been doing this since 2017, and we just put masonite on the pit floors last year.
Yeah,
Dog.
right. I mean, we need a.
At least we have it now.
Yeah,
At least
we have it now.
So you're not.
We're trying to get our feedback out there, but the changes are slow to be implemented.
Yeah,
at the
it's
time,
just frustrating because like these problems have been there since the beginning, since 2017, and everyone has voiced them every year. Hardly anything changes.
Well, we're here, right? We can voice our changes now. People will listen to us, apparently.
If you got any other comments about states, leave them in the comments
Yeah.
below, and we'll see what happens.
Tell me what you guys think about it taking like 15 minutes to go from the stands to the pits, even if you're on like
Yeah,
Hemlock.
that's tough. Yeah.
I was stopped by the pool noodle guardians for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Which
5
doesn't
minutes.
sound like a long time, but you are standing there. You can see the pits,
Yeah.
and they're like, no. Pool noodle.
Jason, whatever I told you that those pool noodle people, I have all their pool noodles in my car.
Why?
They're free.
Stop.
You
just
really?
took 'em.
It's in my trunk. Yeah.
Can I take some?
No. They're my free stuff.
You stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, we got carpet.
Yeah, you did get carpet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't know we were taking carpet until that Saturday.
You have 2 fields worth of carpet now because you took
One field, like 2 rolls.
Okay. You
Yeah,
took another event, right?
no.
Okay. Why do you need all this carpet?
Our shop
'Cause
is
they're free.
destroyed, and then potentially a secret event,
Secret event.
something happening.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Don't know much details yet.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, speaking of the field, right? You saw it firsthand on your field.
Oh.
What was this inspection that happened on Hemlock that shocked your eyes? What was that?
Field inspection you're talking about.
Field
not
inspection.
robot
Yeah,
inspection.
now we're no.
Field
Field inspection. Field
Okay,
inspection.
So
What-
Hemlock had a couple field issues. Most of them were just like weird technical difficulties. One of
Yeah.
them being the finals 3. Okay, so sorry. So the field inspection I saw. All right, so teams go on the field. They bring their measuring tape during calibration.
Mhm.
They measure. All good.
Yeah.
All kosher.
They're right. Yeah. They-
Yeah, all kosher. So I was down on the field, my team, and I hear from behind me, just let's check this black line, make sure it's straight. And I'm just like, because I just know this is gonna be good. Okay, when I hear some older individuals comment on something mostly benign, I'm like, this is gonna be good, and it was. It
Ready to
was.
clap. He's ready to clap.
Can I drop the team?
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
No.
Okay, so I can't see the team, but just know it is exactly who you think it is. And sure enough, it is these older individuals. I won't call them old guys, but they were old guys. Down like on the carpet with a laser level,
Yeah.
measuring the straightness of the black starting line. And mind you, this is the straightest tape line I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're like, it's a little off here. It's a little off here. And FTA is right there, and he's like, we did the field what's
Compliance.
it called? Compliance check, and like everything's good. And then they're like, you want to redo it now? Now since we have the laser level out, it's a little wiggly here. Mind you, straightest line I've ever seen in my life.
life.
Okay, and then okay, so they go on about that for a little bit,
Mhm.
and then they start complaining about the cages. Okay, they're like, these cages, are you guys gonna have them square to the field? In every field drawing, they're square to the field. FDA's like, no, they don't have to be. And they're like, then why in every field drawing are they square to the field? So FDA goes, talks to someone, comes back with a Q&A post from like a long time ago.
Yeah.
They're like, the cages can be in or any rotation. It's like, and they're like, that's unacceptable. It's ridiculous. And meanwhile, this whole time, I am just standing there like that, just watching them, just praying that they notice me.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you looking at? I was just hoping that they would do that so I
That's
could be
funny.
like, just watching the show.
Yeah.
Look,
My lunchtime show.
y'all are in the right to do your inspections, but you're doing too much, dog. Like it's not that deep.
Where it's set up by people, it's set up by volunteers. It's set up by kids, to be honest, right?
And-
We had Hemlock kids and a couple other teams show up, earlier in the week, students voluntarily to work with our field supervisors and FTAs to set up this
By the way,
field
they're
and-
trained
Yeah.
by HQ and based on the manual that they're given on how to set up the field and what compliances are there
yeah.
to ensure that it's there for the teams that it should be good to go.
They're doing their job.
Yeah.
Plus
Yeah.
minus quarter inch. Right?
Yeah.
Quarter inch, half inch. Half
I
inch. Plus
think.
minus half an inch.
I
So
will admit, I thought it was an inch. So
Yeah.
all right. Anyway.
half inch, that's pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Moral of the story: just trust your FTAs, trust your field suits, just inquire about
It's-
stuff.
It's
and-
all for this is a high school robotics
Eh.
sport. This is high school
But also
robotics.
just like it's not that deep, dog.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So
Did you guys see the RP changes that
Yeah.
happened for Worlds? Like,
I think they're good.
I think now it elevates that game to a higher level of play, right?
Yeah, I
we
think.
did hear that. Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Oh no,
Go ahead.
sorry. I was gonna say that at States, well, like every match was like a 9-point ranking match. So I
Yeah.
think it's good
Yeah.
that they increase it. I think 7 is good. I think that's it's well.
Which, by the way, for context for people that haven't seen the RP changes, the new change is that you need 7 coral on each level to get that reef RP and 16 points for endgame to get the endgame RP.
So that's 1 deep and 2 parks.
2 parks.
2 parks, yeah. Or 3 shallows, which I don't think it's not that many shallows.
I think that the end game is going to be harder to get now, actually, than the Coral RP because a lot of teams are really good at Coral. It's Worlds. But now that the end game Barge RP requires 3 robots to participate to get it, I think that one might be a bit more exclusive than the Coral RP, right? If you need 1 deep and 2 parks.
Yeah,
Or I
especially.
guess,
Well,
you give it 2 deeps? Okay, 2 deeps.
yeah, 2 deep.
Yeah,
2 deeps, the
two
last
deeps.
guy's getting the last Coral, and it's not too bad, yeah.
honestly, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be fine because like most people were getting at least 2 deeps.
Yeah, which ultimately for this level of game for Worlds, right? It's kind of expected that you will fill the reap.
Yeah.
It's kind of expected. We saw this at MSC that almost every other match in playoffs the reefs are getting filled.
Mhm.
So it's all about where are next opportunities to score.
Yep.
Right. And in quals, that strategy leads into your RP point. Right. So as long as you're playing your game, then you're getting those RP points.
Yeah.
It's all about in playoffs now finding opportunity to score more points. That's going to be the name of the game.
Win, win, win. Be perfect.
Mm-hmm. And
Name
bring
the
back
game.
the ranking point playoff bonus.
Yep. All right, so we're going to Worlds. We got the Worlds update for RPs. Let's run through some divisions and some teams to look out for this weekend before we wrap it up here, boys.
Yeah. So Archimedes, we've got some notable teams that I think that might seed high, might even take the division. One of those being 2481 Roboteers. Roboteers, pull up my notes that Roboteers, they went to Arkansas and Central Illinois, right? They won both of their events
Mhm.
Okay,
and
well,
with a perfect record. I think they're the only team on that field that is coming into Worlds with a perfect record.
this is not uncommon for them. Like, and I'm not saying that as like oh it's old news. Like that's just kind of crazy.
right,
But
but
imagine not losing.
Yeah, not
but
losing.
The last time we saw that was I think Hoofs and OP a couple years ago.
Madtown didn't.
Madtown did it as well.
Sorry.
Mm.
Madtown lost their first ever quals, and then they literally won everything else. I think it was 24 or 23 they did that. It was pretty funny.
Wow,
So their only
23,
loss
I
was their
think.
very first match.
Wow. that's crazy.
Yeah,
They're like
But
near
this is
perfect.
not going to happen.
Ro-
again.
Robert
Don't let
Tears,
this
I think
happen again.
they're a favorite to win our communities, as well as 2 teams that are looking in. You see 604 Quicksilver. They have an second highest EPA on the field with 89. And then
Oh, wow.
I think that is a little surprise, but I think could make some noise on our communities is 1114 Symbotics. Symbotics, provincial champs. I believe on the same
Oh, they
field-
won.
No, they didn't win. No. But
Who won Ontario?
I think it was OP and Cyber Cavs.
Oh, okay.
They're I
Oh,
think
yeah.
they're 49,
68.
68, something like that. They're one of the powerhouse Ontario teams, but they don't go to World.
It's not 46, 78, is it?
Oh.
Is that Cyber Cavs?
I think it is Cyber Cavs.
46, 78. Yeah, 46, 78 Cyber Cavs,
Cyber Cavs,
Ontario.
yeah. They were, but Symbolic, they were 6 on their field, and they were Alliance captain.
Okay.
Made it fairly far in the playoffs.
Mm.
Getting knocked out in match 13. So they're a solid team. They're a solid team.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically thoughts on Archimedes. I'm sure there's other teams that are there that I'm sure they're gonna fight their way for those high seedings.
Not too many thoughts, but let's just burn through them.
That-
We're at 35 minutes.
All right, let's keep it going. Then Curie, the 2 teams I'm really am curious to see is Hawaiian Kids.
Yeah.
Winning their regionals and basically a copycat of Jack in the Bot's 2023 bot for this year's game. They're a freaking solid team.
Mhm.
A team that I am expecting to see at least top 5 is 7457 Super Duper Robotics from out of Indiana. They won their district champs and a lot of blue banners under their belt. So I think those 2 are going to be head favorites as well as 1706 Ratchet Rock.
Yeah.
Pretty clear.
Good stuff. Kind of boring field, but moving
Yeah.
on.
Now Newton. Now Newton in my opinion, I think they're gonna win Worlds. Big two names: 1323 and 2910.
That
I disagree.
locked.
Really?
Who do you think's
I
gonna take it,
think-
Jason?
What is it? OP and Citrus. I think this is the year Citrus finally
Well,
wins.
Well, actually,
Always the bridesmaid. This year they're the bride.
well, that's the funny thing with Daily is that we're all expecting 1678 to get picked. I think that's what's going to happen. But two teams that are looking in that could really, topple in as the first pick. I don't think it's going to happen. But 1796 Robo Tigers and 694 Stiples, they have a similar EPA and similar strat to where seed second and then get picked up by 2056. But anyways, they're looking in. I think they'll make it to finals as well if OP picks up Citrus.
I mean, I think
that's what's going to happen.
I mean, the thing is though, is like you have to pick Citrus, right? They
I have
don't-
to, yeah.
If you want to get out of your division, you have to pick Citrus.
Or else you play against them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
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 If you're not with them, you're gonna play against them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they always win.
But I think we all kind of know they're going to pick each other. So
Well,
that's
1678 has made it out of their division 11 times in a row now. Is it 11 or
only
12 now?
won Worlds once. So
Yeah, but if you want to go to
when was
Einstein,
that?
you got to go with them, right? That's the thing.
Yeah. When was that? When did they win Worlds?
I don't remember.
15.
15? Wow.
Recycle Rush, they won.
Oh, with
Robonauts.
Knots?
Wow, you're
Yep.
old. You're old.
No, I'm experienced.
All right,
Experience
10
with-
10 years ago.
Anyways, Millstein is this is the funny field. Millstein.
The
you've
funny
got-
field. You
got-
want to save that one for last since it's so good?
Okay, fine. We'll
Okay,
save it.
we'll save it.
Hopper. I mean, Hopper is Hopper, right? You have 33, 27, 67, and Thunder Stamps. They're the top three similar EPA with each other.
Thunderstamps.
EPA. It's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see if our Michigan boys do it.
Pull it out.
Yeah. And then Galileo. I don't,
33.
Killer me. Oh, whatever. Right. Galileo. I don't really know much about that field other than like 180 and Team Scream.
Okay.
I know 16. I think 16's on that field as well. Bomb Squad. I know they
Bomb
won a.
Squad.
They won a
love Bomb
regional.
Squad.
I think.
The crew is on Galileo.
Oh, the crew is on there?
Galileo, I think. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, shout out to Steve Smicka. You were a former customer at Moy's Carryout Restaurant, and my family respect you. But anyways, and then Johnson Field. Johnson Field is a pretty, it's up there. You've got 1690 orbits. So I think, they'll make a splash there as well as 6800 Valor. 68 Valor, I think, let me just
It's the
quickly
best
pull
field
up.
to be on.
Quickly pull up
Why is that?
their thing.
Orbit?
I don't know. It's just the best field to be on.
I think. Okay.
Yeah, Valor, they're second in EPA, and on
hey.
their field in Texas, they actually won their field. Oh, they won their state champs, their district champs. Congrats, Valor.
Oh,
High Tides on Johnson?
Oh, High Tide.
Valor
Oops.
beat Robonauts.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, and High Tide.
High Tide.
High Tide will make a
Best
noise.
field to be on.
High Tide will make a noise. Now, funny field, Millstein. You've got
Funny
254, 118, 5940. Easily the best three teams on that field. The storyline of that field is who's going to be number one seed, who are they going to pick up as their first pick, who's going to get left out in the dust.
The funny part about that field, how long will line selection take? How many skips will there be? Under or over 5 skips on Millstein?
I'm so thankful that there's a timer now. Thank you first for doing it.
Yeah, but now I got to wake up at 6 a.m. to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also
Can you go back, Ian? Sorry.
6. No, you're an hour later.
Oh, all right. 9?
Really?
No, 8. I got to get up at 8 because they started a line selection at 7 in Texas.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's what it was last year. Yeah.
Also, shout out to our boy Clint. I know you're on Millstein. I know you get picked. We're expecting. We would love to see Clint on Einstein. Well, Clint, we want to see you on Einstein.
Where do they get picked?
I
First
think
pick?
I think
Second
a 503 who's going to be in the first seeded alliance is going to pick them first pick. And then probably the Robo Lancers will pick 118.
Oh my goodness.
However, then Thunder Chickens will pick the Foley Freeze.
Yeah.
And then
Michigan teams.
Bedford Express will just be in second again because they always are. But
okay.
they're to get a decline.
You know what?
Chris,
And
which division do you think is winning? Einstein.
I think Newton. Newton's gonna win it.
Jason.
Daily.
Daly's gonna win.
I think, oh god, I'm between Milstein and Johnson, to be honest. I know Orbit and Valor. Orbit won last year? Poofs, Strovanot's Brett. It's hard to.
Who do
beat
Poofs need to
Milstein.
pick to win? And
That's the story. Like, if they get number 1 seed, right? Do they pick 118 or do they pick Bread?
I think they pick Brett because Cali. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, 118. I don't think your ties run that
No.
deep with them.
yeah, I
and
don't think they.
they're working with Bread last year on Hopper at Worlds. They take their stuff very seriously for every single match, just like the Poofs. So not to say 118 doesn't. 118 is a bunch of awesome and amazing people. But I think it's California teams are gonna stick together, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to see 118 pick engineers though. That'd be fun.
You know what? Just for Clint, let's do it together. Ready? E to the X to the X. E to the Y to the Y. Secant, tangent, cosine, sine. 3.14159. Go nerds, go nerds, engineers. Woo!
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you for us for joining. Please leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment about who you think is gonna win the World Championships this year in Houston.
It's us.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and Cameo. Are we still filling out the question form? Fill out the question form. Link in the description. Get our merch powered by Royal Shredder. Keep an eye on shop.pidpodcast.com. We're thinking about dropping some new stuff, but we would love to hear ideas from you guys. Good luck to everybody competing at Houston, and we won't
Pick
see
crew.
you there.
Well,
We won't see you at the competitions,
see
but
me
we'll
there.
be there in spirit. So,
Pit
See ya.
crew, we'll see you later. Get your shirts. They're going fast. Woo! Thumbnail.
Y'all get cowboy hats.